Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Silver Screen Show. My name is Christopher Marchant. I'm joined here by Lenya and Abu, the long-term stalwarts of Silver Screen Show, and we are going to be talking about Mortal Kombat, the 2021 edition. Now, this, of course, is based on the long-running video game series, which is a fighting brawl melee-style competition game. Now, there are often issues with adapting video games into films because you're losing that personal immersiveness of a game when you're watching a story passively. So often it fails. Did Mortal Kombat break the game to film buck and become a classic?
Is that a legitimate question? I don't know as much about the franchise. I've seen it, and I don't know much about the franchise. But I think Abu should start us off. I know he's got a lot to say.
No worries. So this film literally just dropped out of nowhere. To be honest, I really wasn't aware it's even coming out. I remember I was watching like the box office releases, and it says Mortal Kombat 2021, and I'm like, what? Where did this come from? But yeah, so this is the latest attempt to bring Mortal Kombat to big screens, and yeah, I mean, they had the 90s adaptations, which was very cheesy, but it also had a certain charm, which many people did enjoy, and it became a cult classic, for certain reasons. Whereas this one, well, let's just say it doesn't clear the bar in any way. It's not very interesting. The characters are just, I don't care if they died or not, which isn't a good sign for your protagonist. And I think apart from the opening 10 minutes, it's just totally forgettable. For a film where people's heads get sliced open, it shouldn't be too forgettable. So,
is it difficult to craft a story out of people beating the shit out of each other?
Apparently. Like, amongst this film, there were other films that I would have preferred to see. Like, I would have preferred maybe something on Outer World, or there are these full-on scenes where it's just exposition, like 10 minutes. Like the only reason Sonya Blade is in it is to tell you about what Mortal Kombat is, and then she does some stuff at the end. That's pretty much it. Like, she's introduced, and then she just goes off on this massive exposition of what tournament is and all this kind of stuff. And there's a bit where they walk through the training temple, and there's like images on the wall, and I'm like, I want to see that. Those images of like past tournaments, I want to see that. Or the Scorpion Sub-Zero rivalry, I want to see that. I want to see like Scorpion training in hell, I want to see that. At no point did I actually get involved in the actual story that was happening on screen.
Cool. So often these films aren't necessarily known for their storytelling abilities. I mean, I would struggle to tell you the plot line of any Bruce Lee film. What they're really known for is their martial arts skills on display. Were those impressive, at least?
I think there were, when it was like human versus human, I thought it was quite good. I did like Kung Lao and Liu Kang. I thought they were good. And their abilities.
They're like sibling bromance kind of.
Yeah. And
I'll say the biggest problem is that main protagonist is just no need to be in this film.
Like his power is being a human punch bag.
So is
he
mine.
Doesn't win a single fight in the entire film.
Relatable.
So I think right.
We lost you as you were saying the biggest issue is.
Oh, okay. So the biggest issue is he's just not very interesting. He's a very weak character. He's just generic as so, and he loses every single fight he's in. He doesn't win a single fight until his plot armor kicks in and he becomes the hero. So
literally,
I mean, we know the reason why he's in is because they need a character for the audience to insert themselves into. But they could use Sonya because she does all the explaining anyway.
Yeah.
For some reason, they didn't use Sonya, an established character, and just create this random guy who just seems so out of place. He's so everyday compared to all these gods that you're fighting.
And he's pretty dumb as well. Like, he's dumb.
Oh yeah.
oh,
He's like, I'm gonna go away to save my family, but then he goes back to his family later on and puts them in danger again.
It's
So
like,
like,
if you go back to your family, they'll probably die. You know what I'm gonna do? Go back to my family. Yeah.
Alright.
and the,
I mean,
and there is also
I had Kano as an a-hole for both a pro and a con. Like,
well, he's supposed to be an a-hole, so I kind of give it to him, but Raiden had no reason to be an a-hole.
yeah,
He's
like,
supposed
why?
to be like the mentor, and he's just absolutely emasculating everyone on his team. I'm like, do you want to win this tournament? Because the way you're doing it, no one's gonna fight for you, man.
He just picks and chooses when he decides to help out. He says like, oh, I can't intervene. He does, and he's so OP about it.
Is this like Gandalf in the Hobbit films? He turns up when he needs to help and then is absent otherwise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's like his own temple is getting invaded by his arch rival, and his students are going to be murdered, and he just shows up right at the end. I'm like, bro, like,
Yeah.
he's in your house.
So we're dealing with generic characters with weak motivations here.
Yeah, and also the convenient baby cry. Like,
yeah.
I hated that at the beginning. I was like, oh, there's a baby and everyone's dying and getting slit and bleeding all over the place, but the baby's not crying up until the point where it's most convenient, and then it cries. And you're like, can we not do this every single time? Like, every time. But
Okay. So
the good
I'd give it
scenes are
one
cool though.
positive. I want to give it one positive is Scorpion Sub-Zero like stuff that happens at the beginning of the film. It feels like a totally different film. It seems like it's been filmed by someone different. This whole different cinematography is a lot more epic, grand. It's like it's set back in ancient Japan, and they've got this history going. And that's the only time you see of these two is at the beginning, and then just don't show up. That rivalry doesn't show up until the very end. So it's like you should have picked up and run with that more, because there's a lot more substance in that than whatever the hell they ended up doing.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, I like the first 10 minutes are really good.
The beginning was really good, and I was really gripped by that, and it did feel like a martial arts movie where, you know, in kind of ancient or like a historic time period, and that was really, really good. But then it just turned into, you know, like perfect fatality, Liu Kang wins, and you're like, oh, it's so cringe. Like, it works in the game. As soon as you put it on screen and having actual people saying those words, like I just had to laugh. And
it's not even like laughing at itself, it's taking itself seriously, which makes it worse. If they were like kind of doing it tongue in cheek, the Street Fighter film would have worked. But here they're like trying to be a serious film. But when you're referencing like outside the third wall, it seems very, was it the fourth wall? It's a fourth wall.
Yeah.
Fourth wall, an actual wall.
Fourth wall, third person. Liu Kang wins. Like,
the only reason I did watch is because the cinemas finally opened and I had to see something, and I thought, okay, Mortal Kombat, it will do.
Okay. I'm starting to get the feeling if we go into every floor with Mortal Kombat, we're going to be here for a few days. So I'm going to kind of bring things in and trying to give you guys an opportunity to give a star rating out of 10.
10. I want to give it 4.
I'm going to go
just because of Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff. I thought that looked like it took some effort. I respect that.
And I love gore, so I'm always gonna give blood something more than 1 or 2.
Yeah, the gore actually, it is pretty. It did actually catch me off guard. I wasn't expecting some of those scenes, but yeah, I mean, will it get a sequel? I highly doubt it. I've seen, reports that the Sub-Zero guys signed on for like 6 more films. I'm like, you've really overestimated what this film might produce at the box office. So if they do, good luck, but I really can't see anything really popping up from this.
Okay, so another misfire in the long line of game to film adaptations.
Fingers crossed for Uncharted.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
No worries. Bye.